Hello and welcome back to an episode of Tavern Talk. This will be episode 26 in the series, and I think it might be our last one for the DLC. Okay, I had problems recording. OBS updated and changed the way audio works, and hopefully my audio is working again. So I did end up finishing it, but we're gonna go again this time with sound. Let's try it, shall we? So this is The Storm, a guide to heroism. We're going to start the day. Morning. Good morning. You look tired. I'm not. Your eye bags have eye bags. It was a long night. Storm still storming. Yeah, honestly, that's a good way to put it. I spent all night leading people away from the grove's interplanar portal. The Amarathan Hydra deserves some privacy. And I really don't want someone accidentally wandering into Avalon. The frog venturers keep trying to break out of the treehouse too. I barely even have time to look after Fable's vegetable garden. Do you think they're okay? Do you think the storm has reached Velos too? Are they equipped to handle it? What if they stumble into the Twilight Chasm again? I'm sure Fable is alright. Fable has faced much worse. I'm a bit worried about them too. Great to see you have some common sense. But we've been worried about them before, and they've always been fine. I would love to run after them and make sure they return safe and sound. But we both know neither of us will do that. So, we just have to wait until they get back. Oh, he's blowing bubbles. Sorry, I got distracted by the bubbles. We just have to wait until they get back and scold us for worrying too much. I guess I can't argue with that. So, now you're here to take a break. Do you need a room so no one sees you resting? No, I just need to sit for 2 minutes in silence is all. Then I'll be good as new. Got it. Morning, sentient elderberry. Are you ready for us to blow your socks off? It depends. Who is we? Big guy, stop chatting with the sparrows and get in here. Oh, quest taken. The poor birds. They were almost blown away. That storm is gnarly. Luckily, we're here to fix it. That's wonderful news. Can't wait to rebuild Melly's ancient gizmo. Though, innkeeper, present. Couldn't you just call up your old pal Leviathan, send a prayer, ask him to pick up his tantrum-throwing spirit? I tried that. Unfortunately, I am but a devotee. I don't have a direct line to the guy either. Plus, there's the oath of neutrality. You know, they can only help us so much. I guess he only answers you when you need new recipes. Maybe you can ask for a working compass recipe. While we're at the topic of questions, Una, let me continue with a reasonable one. Didn't Melly want to fix this? She does, but I put her on packing duty so she can work out some of those nerves. We'll pick her up once we're done here. I assume that means you'll be joining her? Of course. I know the Highlands well. And Prim and I got super lost on the way back from the book fair yesterday. It was pretty scary for her. I can only imagine what it's like for people and creatures that don't have someone's hand to hold. So, we gotta fix this. Such a good Samaritan. You're going as well? Well, I was asked, and sometimes I gotta get off my old ass, right? Absolutely. So, can you build them a compass that'll work? Not a chance. We'll just have to trust our intuition and guess ourselves to the correct destination. Just like the good old days. We'll do our best to navigate through the storm. Maybe we'll manage to catch sight of some landmarks. I just hope we get there before it does any more damage. Got any tips, Leviathan's favourite? I know a navigator you could ask for help. I could write down some prayers. Or a ranger, rather. Who? Orlando very Finner, Fable's older brother and very experienced ranger. Sorry, what? He's already been helping people get home safely through the storm. He might be just the man you need. And he's in desperate need to get out more. I don't think you can just... You'll help us? Fable told us great things about you. That would be amazing. Thank you for the flattery, but no, I cannot help you. Think about it this way. The quicker this is solved, the less people will get lost in your forest. And the sooner those frogs will be adventurers again. Can't exactly leave. What if something happens while I'm gone? Don't you have like 5 sisters? Or what if something happens to them? Don't you think they're competent? Well, yes, but... Don't worry. We'll take really good care of you, all right? It would really help us a lot if you came along. Fine. I'll take you where you need to go, and I'll bring you back. But I don't want to be involved in your weird adventure. Famous last words, kiddos. Famous last words. So, how are you planning on approaching this? With luck? And a magical drink. Reassuring. All right. I say we pack a heavy dose of dexterity for my old fingers so I can reforge that mechanism thing easy peasy. Maybe also add a little intelligence to the mix. Some extra sparks couldn't hurt. Sounds reasonable enough. Got anything divine to add to the mix? I could offer you some delicious citron, both for the drink and as a material for the mechanism, I suppose. Perfect. We might need some blessings to fix something so ancient. Can't trust those priests to be stocked up on divine favours. This is starting to sound kind of blasphemous. You think you can fix ancient and divine design? We'll rebuild it. Right. Though, now that I think about it, we might need some strength after all to make any progress with it. Melly said it was so tough she couldn't even scratch it. Not a bad point. Should we add some charisma as well so we can better talk to the Tempest? Maybe it doesn't want to go back into the Zoetrope, or maybe it does. Either way, we should ask. That's insane. It's a powerful fire spirit. It'll burn you alive and destroy your surroundings before you can ask it about its feelings. That's what fire resistance is for. I like the way you think, big guy. Innkeeper, I think we could use your wisdom, dexterity, intelligence, and divine blessings to put all of our focus on rebuilding the mechanism, or strength, charisma, and fire resistance, so we can try to communicate with the spirit. Let me think about it. Okay, so I know what I did last time, and I'm gonna do it again. I chose the strength and the fire resistance to talk to the spirit. So we've got this place here. This is where the quest is. All right, so we went for that one, didn't we? Yeah. And we'll go fire resistance, which is the chili. So there you go, fire resistance. I don't think anything else has fire resistance. Nope. Okay, so we need a little bit of this. A little bit of this. A little bit of this. Sailor's courage with fire resistance. Let's go. Pat, pat. Thank you, Undo. Ring the bell. I almost forgot to ring the bell. I think you've got nothing to lose from a good conversation. Who knows what the Tempest has to say? Maybe even have some good construction tips. Or an interesting life story. Exactly. This sounds negligent. It sounds fun. Right? Ugh. Maybe you can say hi to the Guivir guarding the temple too. We should. Sorry, just to clarify, what Guivir? There's a giant Guivir guarding the dragon temple near Verika. Some of the others ran into it last year while looking for the ever-burning flame. Right, yeah. Normal occurrences. Typical adventuring stuff. Sure, I get it. You got this. We'll see. I should go pick up some supplies. I'll meet you at Broom's place. Head left from the wizard towers until you smell the bread from the bakery. It should be easy enough to find from there. Thank you, Ollie. No. I'm sure you'll get it to stick. Nicknames usually do. We've got to head out too, Innkeeper. I need to stock up on snacks for Dindy before we leave, and on some bread. That bakery sounds tempting. We'll be back soon. I'm looking forward to it. And don't forget to pray for us. Oh? I would never forget, that is. Keep an eye out for them, Levy, all right? Your friend is causing a lot of trouble. Let's go keep an eye out for them. I promise you'll have fun with it. Undo. Sweep, sweep, clean up. It's the end of the day. That didn't go for very long. The storm's finished. The eye of the storm. Okay. Would you look at that? The weather's cleared up. Does that mean they were successful? Hopefully no one turned into fog. Melly! Clay! Una! Good morning, Innkeeper. Missed us? I did. But I consoled myself with the hope that you guys would bring the sun back to my tavern, which you did. I take it the quest was a success? Bingo! Congratulations. Seems like you three you three saved for no show once again, or at least you saved a lot of people from getting lost. Speaking of which, where's Orlando? What? He was right behind us. Maybe he got distracted by the bakery. Can't blame him for that. We almost lost Dindy there as well. Or maybe the bread ate him. I guess someone has to go check. Bummer. Looks like I'll have to miss out on a drink. Are you just trying to avoid the recap? No. I'm doing the pretty elf a favour. I'm offering him my seat so he can be part of whatever this is. I have more than enough chess. See ya! Can I please offer someone a drink? I'd love one. Very well, Detective. Any specific wishes? Something that'll fire up my brain, so I'll be well prepared for my next case. On it. All right. The brain recipe. This one. Okay, and we want to put maybe some inspiration in there. There we go. This one. And this one. And this one. Sunrise Peak, thank you, Undo. Pat, 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 pat. Ring the bell. Pretty sure you'll like this one. Oh, taste test. Delicious. No ancient puzzles or spirits will be safe from me ever again. Now, care to tell me more about your heroic quest in the Highlands? Happily. I've travelled to Varika many times, but because of the weird storm, it was really hard to tell where we were going. I don't know exactly how he did it, but somehow Ollie could still figure out north from south. Some would also call it skill. Welcome back to my tavern. Did Una save you from the bread? Barely. Good to hear. Your companions were just singing your praises. Oh. Thanks to Ollie's fantastic sense of direction, we travelled so fast. But when we finally reached the foot of the mountain, you know, the one with the dragon temple, suddenly the ground beneath us started rumbling and shaking. At first, I thought I had accidentally stepped on a trap or freed another angry spirit. But it was just the Gwivir. You say that like it was nothing. It was huge, a huge snake with wings. It was just as friendly as Kyle said. Even Ollie was able to talk to it. I simply reasoned with it. We needed help from the priest. It saw the necessity, so it offered to take us uphill. It was so cool. I bet Archie's going to be so jealous when I tell him I've ridden a Gwivir. It was very reckless. All of us could have gotten hurt. Sometimes I wonder if you're allergic to fun. Admit it, Ollie. You really liked the Gwivir too. I saw you studying its scales. It was interesting, I guess. A fascinating creature. And surprisingly gentle. See? Admitting it didn't hurt, right? It almost did. The Gwivir carried us all the way to the top of the mountain, to the Dragon Temple's door. Finally, I'd get to talk to the priests and figure out how to fix my Zoetrope. Leviathan's Zeotrope, of course. The priests were amazed by the Zeotrope, even though it was broken. They said it was oozing divinity, which sounded unhealthy, but also like a good thing. Una got them to invite us into their divine workshop to get a closer look at their forge and materials. I'm pretty sure she looked through every single one of their crates, trying to find metal we could fuse with the Zeotrope. She also pocketed a lot of their crystals. Maybe she'll give you some later, Innkeeper. What? Nothing. Anyway. One moment. Anyway, even though Una was wearing her coolest goggles, none of the materials were ancient enough to match ours. But she wasn't about to give up. Even though it was unlikely to work, she was willing to try with some copper. First, she wanted to reinforce it with some crystals though. And guess what? The priest said their forges can melt anything. Cool, right? Very. Speaking of crystals, do you think you could make me a drink with some citron, Innkeeper? I'm craving one. Oh, how could I ever refuse you? Drink time. I reckon steel tonic with a citron in it, right? Like, they're not specifically asking for a drink. We could give them anything. The steel tonic, you can become the buff party tank of your dreams. Its cool qualities mixed with surprising aroma boosts vitality to new heights and leaves you impenetrable to damage. That's if they're fast enough to hit you. Yeah, let's do that one. Pop some citron in. Okay. Two of that. And that. And one of these. Steel tonic. Looks like a mountain. Thanks, Sundu. Pat pat. Oh! A drink with a digestible citron, just for you. The bell sounded strange. He's wearing the friendship bracelet. Oh, well, that makes me sad, actually. Thank you. It's just as tasty as I'd hoped. Oh, and he's got hers in his hair? No. Though not as crunchy. Anyway, can we get back to Una's cool concept? Gladly. We decided to fix the Zeotrope by building the missing parts out of the obsidian copper. A brand new etrope, so to speak. I helped Una draw up the blueprints based on Archie's and my studies. We added some flower engravings too because Bayer always says there's nothing happier than flowers. And then Clay and Una got to forging. She trusted me with the heavy lifting while she did all the finicky stuff. I learned so much. I asked her if she could help me redecorate my animal shelter sometime too. She said yes. I'm excited. Good choice, she'll come up with something great. Or explosive. Which is also great. Exactly. What part of the forging did you take on, Orlando? Ollie didn't like our approach. It's not that I didn't like it, it just seemed ineffective. The plan was to convince the spirit to go back inside the Zeotrope. But you wanted to fundamentally change the original design. I thought, what's the point of changing it so much that the spirit might not even recognize it anymore? Going through all that effort wouldn't be worth it. We would just make it angrier. What a waste of time. I told him that change doesn't have to be bad, though. Sure, we could rebuild the Zoetrope exactly how it was before. But who was to say the spirit wouldn't like its new home? Maybe not in the same way, or maybe not as much, but in a new way. I don't think we should deny ourselves joy just because something feels unfamiliar to us. Besides, what we wanted to give it was peace and happiness, not nostalgia. Well, yeah, wasn't really up for life lessons at the time. I thought it would be useful to get acquainted with our surroundings, so I asked one of the priests for a tour. Showed me the clock tower, the enchanted statues, the desecrated altar of the ever-burning flame. They were still pretty down about the primordial flood extinguishing it. Said their temple felt cold without it, no matter how many candles they lit, and so on and so forth. I would have listened more carefully, but something was off. I couldn't quite put my finger on it at first. Like the calm before a storm, when the air slows right before the first lightning strike. Meanwhile, Una and Clay were doing an amazing job, but the obsidian copper just didn't want to combine with the material of the Zoetrope. It's okay, Clay. Don't be sad. What happened? When Una tried to slip the final piece into place, I brought down the hammer. Whew! And just like that, the Zoetrope shattered into 1,000 pieces. Una said the metal got brittle after being exposed to the forge's flames for so long. I destroyed it. You couldn't have known. And then, as if summoned by the final destruction of its home, we heard a loud crash from outside. I was just heading back from the clock tower when the sky tore apart and a blazing bright comet struck the courtyard. The floor crackled and the statues splintered into pieces. The Tempest stood right there, enraged and mighty. It didn't pay the priests and I any attention. Instead, it was focused on the workshop. Like an angry flame, it rushed over in that direction, consuming everything in its path. I ran after it as fast as I could. Before we could even check what was going on outside, the Tempest blasted open the door and forced itself inside. It looked even angrier than the last time I saw it. I got really scared. The air around us was scorching hot, but I was frozen solid. I just couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. Oh. It's okay, Millie. We all feel that way sometimes. Your fear is there to keep you alive. Mindless, reckless heroism isn't always the answer. Though sometimes bravery is, and you found it just in time, didn't you? I did. I felt Clean's hand on my shoulder. Then I looked at him and just gave him a nod. I had to try. So I carefully stepped forward and said, I'm sorry that your home was broken and that I left you all alone and scared. But we can find you a new home, I promise. I had nothing to offer except for our help. I didn't even know where we could find a new home, but that was all I could do. Suddenly it rushed towards me. I flinched and closed my eyes. But the heat never came. I had quickly pulled her behind me. I knew I could withstand it. I hurried across the yard, jumping over the debris and into the building, right when the Tempest was about to attack them. There were flames and swirling fog everywhere. It was hard to see. I had nothing on me, so I threw myself between them and the Tempest. You hugged it. Oh, sort of. Like a bastion of calm, I stood my ground. It fought bitterly against my embrace. It reminded me of a child having a temper tantrum. Even when the flames fully engulfed me, I chose not to let go. The tempest flickered irritably, like it was fighting against Ollie's embrace. But instead of letting go, I hugged it tighter. Ollie was fully ablaze. It looked like he was burning. And just that, I didn't. The flames didn't hurt me. It felt like it was embracing me too. It's okay, I said. We've got you. We'll find a place for you. I don't know if I believed my own words, but it was what Melly would have said. I just closed my eyes and hoped I'd make it out alive. Suddenly, the raging storm around us changed. It was still there, but it got quieter, less angry, more sad. The flames grew softer and engulfed me comfortably. It was warm, like a first spoonful of soup after a cold day. Of course it wanted a hug, so I stepped forward and wrapped my arms tightly around both of them. And that's when the purple mist started swirling around them like a veil. First quickly, then slower. All its anger and fear melted away in the embrace. I was so moved I had to hug them as well, like a big group hug. So, all it needed was a hug. It was absolutely insane guesswork. I just wanted to hold it back at first, but then it just kind of happened. But what happened next? With the storm and its anger dissipating, the tempest shrunk in size. It got so small, it was floating in Ollie's hands. Seems like it really blew off some steam with that hug. But there was still so much sadness. It had lost its purpose. So I offered it a new purpose. I asked it to come back to the shelter with me and act as a guide. A guide? Sometimes new arrivals will get led astray by will-o-wisp, and I'd love it to act as a guiding light so they won't get lost. Oh, that's a beautiful idea. I think so too. The tempest seemed to flourish at the thought. We couldn't give it back its zoetrope. We couldn't give it back its zoetrope, but at least we could offer it a new home. And what happened with all the destruction it left behind? Well, the priests were not amused. Understandable, given what happened. But Una appeased the priest. She promised we'd help them rebuild it. We did a bit, as much as we could right then. Rebuilding everything will take some time, though. Una's already planning her trip back, but we wanted to get back to the tavern first. Once we make it back to the shelter, Melly and I want to build a brazier so the tempest will always feel cozy. Sounds like a great place for barbecues. Indeed. Will you join us, Ollie? You know what? Sure. I think I could stop by for a few days. But first I need a break. Desperately. Saving the world is pretty exhausting, isn't it? Very. You know what's perfect for a break? A drink. Agreed. Would you like something for your headaches? No, actually, I have to check up on those frog venturers later, and I might have to explain the situation to them, so I've got something that could help with that. I do? We got Orlander's card. That's cool. Alright, back to drinks. Oh, sunny breeze. Okay, sunny breeze with inspiration. Yeah, maybe sunny breeze with inspiration. What does sunny breeze have again? These ones at the top. We could do it with honey flower. Sunny breeze with honey flower. There we go. Alright. Cover this. And oh, we've already got one of that. And some of this one. Sunny breeze, thanks Undo. Pat pat. Ring the bell. There you go. You might have to get accustomed to the taste though. Let me give it a try. It's good. Different from what I usually order, but good. I feel the sudden urge to talk more. This is very weird actually. You'll get used to it. Una! Are you guys done with the yapping yet? You missed the most exciting part. Nah, I think I arrived just in time. I'm craving some free drinks, old pal. Adventurers always come with free drinks, you know that. And a hug, especially for a lander. Don't stretch it, innkeeper. What? You don't want one? I thought you had softened up at last. Maybe after the next adventure. Aww. And that's the end of the DLC. We've got all the credits again. I don't think we'll sit through all of them because they're so long and the music ends. They're the same credits we sat through before anyway. So I guess that's the end of our DLC until we get to the demo of Dreamwalker, which is the next Tavern Talk episode in the series. So yeah, thanks so much everybody for hanging out. It's very kind to follow along. I hope you all enjoyed it, and in the light of giving and receiving, I honour you.